Hey there. Today we're going to talk about a smile and eye contact, depth with relationships, truly getting to know people around you, you know, fostering those strong relationships. Because it's hard to come by nowadays. It's hard to find these people, and it's hard to find friends for a lifetime. It takes work. And I promise you that you're not doing enough for your future with people. I've always been kind of a loner. I've always been, just kind of an outcast, And while I'm okay with that, and I accept that that's who I am, I think it's important that we realize we do need to get ourselves out there. People matter, we gotta hang out with our peeps, And recently I've been going out. I know you've probably seen my videos if you have been watching, but I have been trying to go out at night, relax, really take in the moment. And not only have I found peace and tranquility from it, I've found understanding. There's been a lot of points in my life, and points as of recently as well, is that life can be too busy sometimes. And I'm sorry, but going to the gym does not slow down your mind, does not give you that time to really reflect on your day. When I was at the gym, I was blasting music, taking an energy drink, and really focusing on my workout, completely isolating myself from people. Or maybe it's just a lot of stuff going on at the gym. There's a lot of people around you, you're not truly by yourself, completely and utterly just you've got to be at peace with your thoughts. Got a lot of anxiety that pulls up in our brain, and you can go to sleep at night and get your 8 hours of sleep, and you can really relax, but it doesn't matter, because it's not enough time. It's not enough peace, When I've been going out recently, I've got my JBL speaker, and I'm just chilling, right? But I turn the music off. I turn it low sometimes, and I just appreciate the moment. I let it sweep over me. And this isn't meditation or anything. This is peace. It can be hard to come by, it's hard to find moments like that. And I've been trying, as of recently, is that every night, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., I'll go out. I'll get my longboard. I'll learn a new skill, get a little physical exercise in, blast some music, and just vibe. I've always been a night owl, and I've always found peace at night. But usually, when you're up late, you're watching TV, playing video games, staying inside, you're not doing anything important. And I'm not saying that, anything has weight over the other. I'm not downplaying video games or TV. There's nothing wrong with watching a movie or two. But it's isolating, I've learned a lot from the TV shows that I've watched. I've really enjoyed the psychology and the character development. I think it can teach you a lot about morals. I think you'll probably get more benefit out of reading a book, but they have their merit, Watching a movie and getting a character arc and really understanding, okay, this is how you better yourself. This is what makes a good person, Actions, choices. A lot of people in life, you only make these mistakes once. You make these choices once, and these choices come up on you, these things that you have to do, or they come out of nowhere. Maybe watching a movie or reading a book first, or gaining a perspective on it, allows you to, well, you can kind of see the consequences of what choices make. And I'm starting to reflect on my nights out and truly take in that I've been a little anxious at work. I've been a little, tight. I've been just trying to listen to music on my phone, clock in, clock out, and I haven't really been enjoying the people that I've been spending time with enough. I guess work consumes my life, as you can probably tell right now, but I work every day. And I try to go out, I try to, do my photography. I try to make my videos, and, I go out and I do something alone. I don't really know what my hobby is to be with people. I guess I'm still working on that. But I know I need to appreciate it more, and I am appreciating speaking to people more, and part of that is eye contact and a smile. Your image, a blazer, a style, your fashion, Just the fact that you look a certain way is a conversation starter, or even a perception of you to that person. If you look well put together and you've got a nice smile, you look positive, and you're also very helpful. You've got a good tone in your voice, you inflect. You really see who this person is, I like to say I see into people's souls. I guess it's in my blood. My mom's a teacher. My dad, he does the law enforcement thing. So I have a really good way of seeing into people, seeing who they are. I do the math. I look at people's fashion choices, their physique. I'm looking at their job title, their who they are, what their values in life, their actions, their consequences, their perception, or people's perception of them behind their back. All of that. I think it's important to see who a person is, and taking the time to know someone, not just talking to them, but really seeing them and hearing them, I think is pretty important. And it goes to show, man, I just got an award for people recognizing me, mentioning my name in a survey. Luke was so awesome today. He was so nice. He made a couple jokes. And, we were a little bit nervous today, and he kind of, lifted our spirits. I've got all these kind notes, and I can tell I'm making a difference in people when I talk to them. And that's important, because I'm at a point in my life right now where I have an existential crisis, I guess you could say, where I'm trying to find meaning in life. I'm trying to understand why we're here. What is the meaning of life? That is the biggest question, I think, in philosophy, and no one has the perfect answer. You can say God, but look how many people that, they believe in God, they have God, they go to church every day, they have good Christian people around them, but they're just as lost as me, if not worse. Some of these people take their own lives because they're lost. They don't think there's any meaning in life, and there's no point in being here. And that's sad. That really is, because I think we're living in an age where this is only going to get worse. I feel like our lives are becoming cheaper in terms of less quality. And yes, it does have to do with electronics and technology and social media and everything like that. But I think it goes beyond that. I do think there's been a culture shift where, you have people that don't care about the sanctity of marriage anymore. There's no value in personal, physical relationships, Friendships of the past, guys who knew each other from high school, sticking with each other and through their whole lives. College, your frat brothers, you know them forever. Maybe you have certain clubs you're in, those people stick with you for your whole life, Those are starting to diminish. A lot less people are in these groups of people, in these clubs of people, in these communities of people. And once you start feeling like you're not part of a specific community, you have no identity. And without identity, you don't have your people. I guess the world is having an identity crisis. We don't know what we're supposed to do. We don't know who we're supposed to be. We don't even know who we are. And getting to the bottom of that, trying to understand who we are, is a journey. It's a process. And, I don't claim to have the right answers as much as every time I've mentioned God on this channel, I've gotten some crazy comments, but I don't claim to be the expert on anything. What I claim to be is someone who's just trying to figure it out. And I think along my journey, I hope to help out as many people as I can and try to foster a community of people that are like-minded like me, that believe in work, believe in a good family life, believe in good solid friendships, strong friendships that have good beliefs as well. They want to get their finances up, they want to get their money up, they're not in too bad of addictions, they want a good family, they're in my age group, and they want to do fun stuff. They're not lame yet. Super lame. I know a couple of people, real lame, want to stay inside all the time. Oh, I can't. Why not? I'm tired or something. I don't know. I want spontaneous but not reckless, Like, I want to be able to call a buddy up, come over, bro, we're going to do this, whatever. I need friends like that, I haven't found them yet because maybe I haven't been looking for them. I've been doing enough fun stuff yet. Maybe that's on me. And the second part is I don't follow up with people. I just assume they don't care. We're not close enough. So why bother? We'll see each other once a year and that's it. But no, we can do so much better. We can do so much more than that. I am hoping to find my people, It's gonna be a good day. Happy 4th of July, by the way. I hope you have an amazing 4th, Hot dogs, hamburgers, grilling out with the peeps, with the family. You gotta appreciate that time. And I plan to today, even though I'm kind of starting 4th of July a little bit late. I really don't even know what this video title is going to be. I kind of went all over the place, but you know, there's this saying that I've said before is, you know, chase a little bit of peace and a little bit of excitement every day. Chase that adrenaline and chase that relaxation. I know it's counterintuitive, but I think you gotta have a little bit of both in every day. That's called life, you know? Be serious, be funny. Be sad, be happy. Make good financial choices and then burn your money on something stupid. Do a little bit of everything. You only got one life to live, so you better live it. You better enjoy it to the best of your abilities. These people will remember you for the feelings that you had with them, the relationships that you had, the depth of those relationships, the goodness in your heart, your sense of humor, the fun that you had with them. That's what people remember. So I hope you live up to it, because, you know, even in your long life, I promise you that you're going to have that. No matter what you do, no matter how good you are at it, I promise you that you will have a life where people remember you by amazing memories. You may not see it now. You may not see all the fun and excitement in your life. But I promise you that you have some semblance of it. I'm just urging you to go out there and add to it. You already have such a good foundation, I'm pretty sure. You already have so many things going for you. You've made good decisions. You've made decent friends. You've got family in the works. And you like to have fun. And you also have good, you know, times where you're at peace. I'm just urging you to add a couple more memories. Manage your time wisely. And understand that, you know, be a little bit more self-aware. Try to plan stuff. Be a hostess, you know? Hostess with the mostest. Host parties and stuff. Maybe not everyone's going to host a party, you know? So you may have to do it every time. And that's okay. That's okay. You can be known for it. You can be known for the guy who throws a Sunday bash every Sunday. In my neighborhood, I would love to do that. I can't wait till I have my own house. My own house, no HOA, decent neighborhood though. That doesn't mean not like a good neighborhood. Decent amount of room for parties. And have one once a month at minimum. Family, friends, whatever. Tradition, habits, things for people to cling on to, you know? Depth of relationship with others, but also depth of relationship with yourself, you know? You gotta show up for yourself, you know? Anyways, have a good night. Peace.